so we're doing some more viewer tattoos today.
Excellent.
It's just some random stuff.
Okay, so this one says, "Hi guys, just thought I'd send you in my latest tattoo. I'm a big fan of the channel, and you already reacted to a rework of mine. My 15 minutes of fame, high five. 56-year-old Yorkshire bloke wanting to get a load of Universal Monsters tattoos. The Bride of Frankenstein was done at Tattoo Junkies in West Yorkshire."
Well, I mean, that's as honest a goal as any, really.
I really like this tattoo.
I like Universal Monsters in general, so we have a black and white and a normal one of this. I like the colored photo more for sure.
Yeah.
So
I like I really like the style of shading on her face.
Yeah, I do like the style of shading. I wonder if it's going to be a little too soft, but
When it heals?
yeah, it's a really light wash in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really, really light wash, but I mean, it should be okay.
Well, I mean, to
The
me, it
neck
looks
is
like...
either healed or done way darker.
Yeah.
Like, that's strange. Why would the neck be that dark then?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, the background's going to heal out really soft and smooth. Like, really, really soft and smooth. The nice thing about this one is there isn't a whole ton of white used. And where it is used, it really works, right?
It really, really, really makes the parts that the white is used pop.
Yeah, unfortunately, they got a little bit of blood in the photo there, but you can see that those eyes are just going to twinkle. Here, you can see it in the black and white one, where the saturation is obviously taken out of the blood.
Right.
It's a nice little tattoo for sure. I love the Bride of Frankenstein as an idea, so I think we need to see her more. I think there's never really been a good Bride of Frankenstein movie made, you know?
I don't think we're ever going to see one the way we're heading.
Well, no. If they did it right now, it'd be bad. But the best telling of, like, Frankenstein / Bride of Frankenstein, I think, was Penny Dreadful.
Oh, yes.
That's one of my favorite shows ever. Not just recently, but ever. And that was the only accurate telling of Frankenstein I've seen. Mm-hmm. Mostly accurate. Every other one, they went with the dum-dum with the bolts in his head, which, fair enough, that's a cool Frankenstein too, but that was never the character.
Yeah, that's not actually...
That's not the literary
that's
character.
That's not actually Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, no, they didn't think that people would accept an intelligent monster as a character, so they made him stupid and sympathetic. I don't know why. And
well, because man can't play God. There's no way that man could create an intelligent creature. That's exactly why they dumbed him down.
It's, interestingly enough, Mary Shelley, the writer of Frankenstein, and there actually never was a Bride of Frankenstein in the real book. Frankenstein always wanted a bride, but there was no Bride of Frankenstein. Was a feminist, like very old school feminist.
Yep, credited with being one of the first feminist authors.
Brilliant author. And if you haven't actually read the book Frankenstein, it's I think probably one of the greatest books ever written, and it holds up. Like, it's very, very good. So, yeah.
Anyway,
but nice tattoo, and we're moving along here. Sorry for the history lesson.
Oh yeah, no, you get excited about things you love. So this one's from Anthony, and it says, "I forgot to attach the pic."
Yeah. Well, they originally sent an email and didn't give me the picture. That happens more often than you'd think. I've had these, like, captions sent to me. Like, they're big, long bull winders, like paragraphs.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's cool, but there's no tattoo, so...
Right.
Well, I'm happy you're reaching out. I don't know what the fuck you want me to say to this.
Don't forget the picture.
So what is this, a grape pizza? What are those? What the fuck are those?
Eyeballs.
Are they eyeballs?
I don't know. Let me look closer.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
I feel like they're eyeballs, and it's like puking
You'd think,
eyeballs.
I have enough eyeballs on me that I would be able to fucking pick out an eyeball.
I feel like they're eyeballs.
They look like little fruits.
They look like tomatoes to me, but they're definitely little eyeballs, I'd say.
Yeah, no, they look fuzzy almost. I don't know. They don't look like eyeballs. And if they were eyeballs, I think it's a bad choice of color for them.
They would have been...
I think this... before I say that, I think this is a fun little tattoo.
I really like this tattoo. I think it's hilarious.
I just think it's hard to tell that they're eyeballs.
Yeah. I think that like if they were less like red and they were more like an angry looking eyeball, like when your eyeball is mad and they're kind of pink and fuzzy looking,
like little puffer fish or something. You know what I mean? They look the texture, just the way they've been shaded, it makes them look not so much like eyes.
Yeah.
So if they were supposed to be eyes, that's kind of getting lost here.
Maybe they're just supposed to be pepperonis. I don't know.
Also, like I do enjoy how simple they kept everything here in the color, but I feel like they could have done a little bit more to convey that that's cheese hanging off bread, because like it kind of doesn't look like it. You know what I mean?
The
like
cheese?
Yeah, it kind of doesn't work for me.
Interesting. Yeah,
it's just a little flat.
It does read as a little flat.
Like the more I look at it, the less it looks like pizza to me.
I just really like it. I don't know. I got nothing bad to say about it. It looks like pizza to me.
Yeah, no, I just think they could have used a few more tones.
The eyeball pepperonis are hilarious.
They don't look like pepperonis or eyeballs though. They look like little cherries or something.
I like the color of the vomit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
not a bad little tattoo.
That's funny. All right, next one. This one says aged forearm tattoos. Hello, sending these to show the aging of my forearm tattoos. The left of each photo is the fresh tattoo versus the right being healed tattoo. My watercolor piece is almost 7 years old. The traditional piece is around 5.5 years old. Watercolor doesn't age well on most people, but luckily my skin can hold it. Have yet to do a second pass on either.
I don't agree with that, and
I think if you do the watercolor right, it'll age well on people.
Yeah, I think that this idea that things do or don't age well is mostly a myth perpetuated by people who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
It's a myth perpetuated by bad tattoo artists, I think.
Not necessarily always bad tattooers. Maybe guys that, first off, maybe don't know how to do that style and don't want to do that style, so they say things like that. And second, it's also just like a commonly believed lie over time.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, when things are saturated, they will be what they will be. It's just that this won't ever look really crispy, right? There's no version of this tattoo that will ever be clear because you don't have lines.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't mean it's going to get much worse.
No.
I would argue that it's as worse as it's going to get now.
And also, it's watercolor. It's supposed to be soft and weird.
Well, the colors, they'll age, but so will every other tattoo. It's just that if you had a black line around these, the black line is going to hold everything together to the eye better, right? Like it's like if you were to put this on me today without the black.
Yep.
Because there's no structure to it, it's very hard to see what these pigments are making. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because they don't have shape. But on negative space, if you can't saturate this, it's because you can't saturate it. It's not because it won't work.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe you just don't know how.
Yeah, it's because the artist maybe doesn't have enough experience with the soft color shading and the color work to do.
But when you look at how this was done, like you can tell the artist knows how to do this because the firmer tones are at the base, right? It always gets lighter as you go down.
Yep.
Right, so that you're getting something like an outline with the darkness of the colors.
Yeah.
To give this thing structure.
Yeah,
you can't
to
really
hold it
explain
together.
those things to prospective clients. Like they don't really understand those things where it's like, I understand why this tattoo is going to heal and age well. Because it does have that look of darkness to it around the edges. If you don't have that, if you were to invert those colors and have the darks at the center and the light at the outside, all of a sudden this tattoo looks way flatter.
Agreed.
So even though you don't have black or outlines in this tattoo, you can make it look like something by choosing to work with colors that will complement and lift the others, right? They've also played with negative space quite well and everything here. This is not necessarily a solid color tattoo.
Right.
There's a lot of negative space giving flow and giving strength to the light tones too, right? So there were a lot of things that they did here that will make this tattoo last. I think that, yes, there are some certain color tones, or skin tones that color shows up better on, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that if you are patient and, understanding enough of the skin that you're working on, you could pretty much do a version of this on almost anyone. Mm-hmm. It's going to scale with how well you know your colors.
I agree with that.
Like, Rick does these fucking watercolor things quite often where it's like, it's even the best result you get with it is something like this. Mm-hmm. But like, I've seen the limit of his ability when he's not tethered to anything, and it's like you could make a sturdier looking tattoo with just a few changes. But if you want to do a watercolor tattoo, this is what you get.
Yep.
It's like anytime you have to adhere to certain principles and styles, I feel like the overall potential product can suffer a little. You know what I mean? Like, if all of a sudden you go, oh, you can use some black in this, but not lines. Like, if you were to shade the outside of these with black instead of darker colors, right? But then it's not a watercolor tattoo anymore.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sitting here wondering who even came up with the concept of a watercolor tattoo.
Well, the same people who like watercolor art.
Yeah.
It's existed before watercolor tattoos.
Right.
So, I mean, there's always going to be an audience for this stuff. It's just... on skin, it's a different medium.
Right. It doesn't translate. I mean, that's the thing that I find kind of bizarre about this kind of tattoo is it like nothing. I mean, not everything is going to translate perfectly into a tattoo.
No, some things just don't tattoo as well as they present on paper.
And I think, like, sometimes I blame Pinterest for this, is that people can't tell the difference between a fake image and a real image, or like people will see like a fresh tattoo and they'll think that theirs is going to be like that, or they'll see a tattoo by an artist who maybe specializes in it and then they think, oh, well, anybody can do it. It looks so easy.
The thing about specializing is if you do one thing every day of your life, you should get good at the one thing you do every day.
Right.
And not everybody's doing these every day. So if it is something that you're interested in doing, go to someone who does them quite often. Don't try and get just anyone to do them.
Yeah, don't go get a walk-in watercolor tattoo.
Well, I mean, some places you might be able to do that, but it's not necessarily going to happen everywhere you go. Yeah. Right? So, though it's doable, I think, and not that difficult when you wrap your mind around it, I think it's possible to, do better or worse. It's not necessarily that it won't work. So
yeah, and then so this next one is their traditional piece.
Yes, no, I like this more. Obviously.
I just think it held up better with the age.
Yeah, see, this is the importance of black and lines, but it's not necessarily that it held up better though. It just looks like it did. Right. The other ones held up just as well. It's just they don't have that black there, so the black really does it creates clarity. This is why I'm always screaming about people using white on black in tattoos and they're not using black on black. It's the same fucking thing. Mm-hmm. If you didn't put, black into most of my stuff, none of it would have any weight. Yeah. You can't just do colors over things and expect them to be striking, right? That's why this trad piece looks better with age than the other one did. It doesn't mean the other one isn't there anymore or that it can't work. Right. It's just when you're open to using line weights and dark shading, well, you're going to have a better product long term. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I think so too.
It doesn't mean that you can't do watercolor though. It's just watercolor will never be this striking. It's not meant to be. It's meant to be soft.
No, exactly. So, yeah, it's meant to be watercolor.
And trad is meant to be crisp.
And trad is meant to have a certain look. I like how similar these two tattoos are too.
Yeah, I know. For a minute, it was like, are they the same tattoo?
Yeah, I actually went back and looked at the email to see that they were not the same tattoo.
You can do the same thing a number of ways, right?
Yeah.
So theoretically, this would be the watercolor versus trad version of the same idea.
Right.
And then take
minus
your pick.
The butterfly.
Yeah.